Hey guys, welcome
Hey.
to. Oh, you were saying?
Sorry, I was waiting for your intro, and then you didn't start right away, so I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm supposed to do the intro.
No,
But
no, I got it.
that was just service
Uh,
after all these years.
yeah, well, let me get through this. Yeah, let me finish. Welcome to Hunkered Down with Seth. This is far and away the best beginning to any show I've ever had in my life. Uh, Today we have a guy, I call him a Swiss Army comic just because he's in so many different comedic realms. He's got a political show, he is an amazing comic on Twitter, he's great stand up, he is a roast icon in LA, and all in all, he's been a good buddy of mine for on and off for about 15 years. Toby Marciano. Toby, it's always great to talk to you. Thanks for being on my show.
Thank you for having me, Seth. You're flattering me and making me feel welcome, and it's crazy to think we've known each other for 15 years, since those little open mics in the basement of the Comedy Underground, probably.
Yep,
Um, on up in Seattle all those years ago. Yeah.
definitely.
Um,
I remember we sort of bonded really early because we recognized the Jew in each other, and we're like, this guy
oh
knows his matzo
yeah.
balls.
Totally. I mean, I don't know how we had this Judar, but I guess it's probably because we both either look or sound Jewish
Yeah,
or act that way.
yeah,
And so, yeah. And there
I,
weren't that many Jews in Seattle, just a few. So,
yeah. Just you, me, and
yeah.
Brian Boucher.
Oh, yeah, Brian Boucher.
Good guy.
I don't think he does stand up anymore, but he's still a good guy. I think he's in the Bay now.
He does his thing. I should get him on the show if I want to talk about him. But we are focused on you. Um,
It's about time, Seth.
yeah.
Enough of the Brian Boucher train.
Yes. By the way, look Toby up on Twitter at Toby Toby Marciano. I think we all could. It's like the animal. Uh, Muresianu. I want to get that out early for the analytics.
You fucking nailed it, man. And I am very impressed. Many people I have lived with for many years cannot spell my name. I've looked over people's shoulders who I was roommates with for like 4 or 5 years as they struggle to get past M. So hats off to you. You're in a very exclusive club, being
Yeah.
able to spell my name.
I mean,
If you are, oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I've introduced you enough on stage back in the days at the Comedy Underground where I could go up right now and introduce you. So
Aw. My credits haven't changed since then, so it's still right in that Seattle International Comedy Festival competitor.
yep,
Honorable mention. Still right in that train.
yeah, participant.
Um, Participants, yes. I know participation trophies get a bad name, but when you have as many of them as I do, let me tell you, counts for something.
Oh,
Um, I just wanted to say, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. If you can't spell, just go to tobythecomic.com. That's my website. Or you can listen to my political podcast mentioned earlier at upcloseandpoliticalshow.com. It's got a podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or whatever. Whatever floats your boat. But anyway,
yep.
just getting that promo side out of the way.
And also up close and political when all this quarantining is over, you could catch it first Monday of the month at the LA Hollywood Improv. So
Generally speaking, I mean, of course, we are, in the pandemic now, so who knows once we get out of the quarantine what the future will look like. If the Comedy Underground will be a smoking ruin, just occupied by scrap metal traders. But fingers crossed, we'll be back to normal, V-shaped recovery, and we will be out there the first Monday of every month at 8 o'clock. But tune in, start subscribing to the podcast now. You got plenty of time in quarantine. Give it a listen, and then I'll record an announcement when we're actually back to speed.
oh, definitely. Um, so what have you been up to? I mean, you got the up close and political. I mean, when I say what have you been up to, I'm talking about since you moved from Seattle, and guessing 2009 was it?
So, so I moved from Seattle to San Francisco in 2009.
Yeah.
Good memory. But I was in San Francisco for about I want to say about a year and a half, and then I moved to Los Angeles. So it's been sort of a journey. I mean, I went to San Francisco when I was working the road and doing some app development and sort of getting into the scene there. And then I started doing international work. Like I started performing in England and Europe and Australia a lot.
Yeah.
And I was doing that for a couple of years off and on while I was in LA. I was living with comedian Sammy Obeid, who is Palestinian, which is obviously the opposite of Jewish. But
Yeah.
we got along. We managed to make it work. We recorded a few like sketch comedy things around that idea. I'm actually going to be on a Zoom comedy show tonight, so we have made it last for almost 15 years.
Yeah, just a bit of a sidebar. What do you think of those Zoom comedy shows? What's the adjustments you have to make, and what do you hate about them?
You know, I actually haven't done one yet. I might try to do a mic before the show because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I was like looking at clips because I was like, should I stand up and like hold a microphone, or should I just be right in front of my computer? Do people do stand up, or do they like walk around their apartments and do like more like interactive stuff? I've got cats. I could bring my cats on screen.
Yeah, if
There's
you
a lot
need
of
crowd work.
possibilities that I couldn't even do with real comedy, so maybe I should take advantage of those instead of trying to force it into, to be stand-up comedy when obviously there's all these differences.
Yeah, I've done a couple Zoom mics, and what I've noticed, just to help you out and help you adjust, is the biggest adjustment I had to make is that everybody's at the same volume. You don't have the microphone, so you're not louder than other people. So when they laugh, the laugh is the exact. It's probably louder than you, so you're gonna have to wait and adjust your rhythm.
Interesting. Good to know.
So.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, I can get through it without any laughter. But if that comes up, I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's the laughter has been my biggest problem. If I could just not have laughter, that would be perfect.
It's kind of rude, like you're going on a monologue, you're revealing your soul, and people are just laughing in your face.
Yeah.
Have some respect for the art,
Exactly. Just do some slam poetry instead.
Yeah.
So
anyway, let's take back in the time machine. So we're in 2011, 2012, doing stand-up on the road, doing some international stuff, and then spending time in Los Angeles. I was doing some little things, recording videos with Sammy, and I wrote for a sketch comedy show called Top Story Weekly, and started doing a little bit of TV writing here and there, just like contributing jokes to
really quick,
comedians more famous than I am, basically.
Top Story Weekly, is that a show in a theater in Fairfax?
It used to be. Actually, all shows are inactive, but I believe it is sort of on hiatus now, even before the pandemic. It was a very long-running show, but it was at Improv Olympic, which is a comedy theater that closed down, or at least the Los Angeles branch did.
Yeah.
So I moved to Acme, and it was at Acme for a while, and then Acme had started having its own problems. So I think it may still currently be homeless. I haven't really been actively involved in recently, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, well, just a good buddy of mine, I think I went to one of his shows, and I think that was what he was working on, so I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good, it was a great way to cut your teeth in, sketch writing and stuff like that, because you could, write sketches about that week's news and see them produced a few days later. Yeah. And so it helped to get a feel for, how they would play on stage, and it helped you see the, evolution of something from a pitch to a script to a play, a put on thing,
Yeah.
So.
Also, it helps if you could do a Trump or Obama impression.
There were a lot of those, yeah. That was definitely gold when we had someone. It was a little awkward. We'd be like, "Do we have an Obama in the cast this week?" Which is, code for a black guy. But yeah, that's what it was for a while. And then with Trump, we have a ringer. Philip Wilbur, who does a great Trump impression, so he was the default, but he definitely got a lot of work in that, obviously.
Oh, totally.
So I was doing all that stuff, and then 2015 I started a comedy show, a political comedy show called Unsafe Space, which was people doing stand-up on, hot topics followed by a discussion with experts in the audience. And I started running that and I was running it with a guy named Lou Perez, another comic.
Oh, cool.
And eventually he went and got a job with this internet sketch political comedy channel, and I got a job there as well. So I was working on that for about a year and a half, and then they pretty much laid everyone off. I think Lou still works for them, but expanded and then contracted pretty rapidly. And I started Lou's in New York now, and I'm doing a new iteration of the show, Up Close and Political, the one that I do now, at the Hollywood Improv, and I'm working at a media company, Freethink Media, which does news and it's basically positive news about ways the world is changing, with a sort of dual focus on societal, people making a positive difference in society and people making a positive difference with science and technology. So ways the world is moving forward, we put it. And so I've done a little bit of article writing for them, and I'm hopefully starting to do some on-camera stuff soon. So.
Oh, cool. And around 2015, when you were working for that, started to work for that political thing, that's around the time you met your wife.
2016.
Oh, cool.
I believe, what's that? Yeah, I believe it was the spring of 2016. Oh, alongside this, I started doing Rose Battle, which you mentioned earlier, around 2015.
I'm laughing because you could go pretty much to the date of everything you've done professionally, and I bring up, around then you met your wife, and it was around then or then. I can't really put a date around.
I don't like to put a label on, types of dates. You threw me for a loop because they said 2015, but I had to second guess. Was it 2015? But I actually know it because the first time I met my wife was at one of my shows, which I put on, and it was in May 2016.
Yeah. Very lovely woman. I've met her. I have nothing but great things to say about her. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, totally awesome. No matter what you think about me in this podcast so far, she is way better. So
I could vouch for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much everyone can. It's a very universal perception.
Same boat. My lady is 50 times better than everybody likes her, and they just keep me around to make her happy. So.
Exactly. When did you meet your wife? It was a long time ago, right?
Yeah. The official story is she walked into. I hired her to be a hostess or a door person for the Comedy Underground when I was manager there, and we started going to happy hours together, and just there we are. So around 2010.
Wow, so 10 years, man, that's awesome.
Oh, thanks. And and the best part is she hates my comedy, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what I have to offer her.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I guess not in her eyes, but,
Yeah.
It's great to have someone appreciate you for the other side of things, at least.
Oh, definitely. I'm a snuggler.
Yeah.
So I definitely.
I believe it.
So let's get back to you, because this is Hunkered Down with Toby, with Seth. This is all about you. You're the light of my eyes. This roast battle stuff, you are currently ranked, top 5? It's on hiatus, but last I checked, you were really up there in the Comedy Store rankings.
Somewhere around there. I was number 1 for a while, and then I lost it, and then I got it back, and then I lost it again, and then so it's maybe I got it back again. I don't remember exactly, but I was bouncing around there for a long time, and then in the last year, I guess since I've been doing this new job, I haven't been doing it as much. But I did I think the last title fight was about a year ago, and I battled Alex Duong, who beat me in overtime, but it was a really great fight. And then I won another one after that. But I was sort of planning on making like another title one, but there's like a queue of people who are doing like title battles, so I was sort of like waiting for that to clear out so I can get back in there. But I'll probably battle, I like to battle every few months just to keep sharp. So
Yeah, totally.
Once it gets back, I'll hop in the queue again. But it's been great. It's like, one piece of advice I always kind of heard was like, oh, you find your crew of comics and you're all going to do what, you just work on projects together and, become friends and, all this good stuff. And then you'll all end up doing great things. And I've seen that play out a few times. I mean, you see some of the, people from Seattle and San Francisco who have gone up, and gone up to bigger and better things. And this was one of the times when I felt like it really clicked for me. Like I always loved the roasting, and I started going to these shows, and I was like, oh, I want to do this. And then I started hanging out with the other people who were doing it and being successful, and just the scene there. And everyone was like, you're doing these shows and it's at midnight, and then it ends at like 1 a.m. and then people are going or shooting the shit, and I was like, this is it. This is the scene, These people are funny. I love them. We have a great time, So I just wanted to really be a part of that, and it has. It's gone on to be on TV, which I think everyone thought was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
And, so I got to be on the TV show and stuff, just briefly, but it was still cool that it wasn't something I'd done before. And then, it's, now it's international. There's a UK show that I got to write a little bit for, and there's different chapters all over the country and stuff that aren't officially affiliated, but are, it's really given birth to this art form. So that's been really cool.
Yeah. Although it's still one of those things, and roasting was supposed to be a gathering of people just with their close friends and, like a punk rock basement show, and now it's all mainstream. There'll be roast battles at open mics that I've seen. It's one of those things. I thought it was more fun, around 2011, 2012, where if you were on a roast, it meant that you were good friends with somebody, and it was like their birthday. But I'm conflicted with it just because it's funny making fun of these people, but I don't really know them personally, so. But it's. Jeffrey Ross is like the guy who. I call him the Green Day of comedy. He brought roasting and took it to the mainstream before it was ready.
I mean, it's easy to be hipsters about everything, Seth.
I know.
I mean, it was cooler back in the day, 10 years ago, whatever. And I mean, I agree that I was all about the roasts on Comedy Central and stuff. I remember I loved watching them growing up, and I loved being part of them. Had a roast for when I was in college, we had a club of comedians, and we'd always do a roast when someone graduated. The outgoing person who was running the club. I got my roast and stuff, and it was just I always loved it. And so that was part of why, and even before that, part of the reason I wanted to go into comedy was just the, busting balls at the lunch table and stuff, and coming up with a really good, burn, and just busting the whole table up. That was what I lived for. So.
Oh, totally.
It really I really got really excited about doing it. And I mean, I do agree, every form of comedy, whether it's improv, whether it's sketch, whether it's YouTube, whether it's TikTok or whatever, there's people who do it poorly. There's places that ends up where it doesn't belong. Stand-up, obviously, as well. there's ways that it ends up being done and it's not funny and it's not that fun.
Yeah.
And that's just the nature of art. Like, art sucks sometimes. Like, maybe most of the time. And
Definitely.
so I certainly, like, get, like, I certainly get the experience of being at an open mic where they try to make a roast thing happen that's just bad. And it shows, at the Comedy Store where people are roasting each other, and, it's just not that funny. I mean, the nice thing about the Comedy Store, one, is that they have judges and they have, like, other people in the rooms, so even if the battle doesn't sizzle, people can dunk on the battle and make fun of it, and, it still has a good energy. You've got a DJ and stuff like that. And that's part of it, too, is that it's hard to replicate that in all places where you have a quote-unquote roast battle. You don't have all the elements that are, hitting and like you do in the belly room. So, I think the belly room is sort of the place where I've seen the pinnacle of it. I'm sure, I've been at the New York Comedy Club and stuff like that, too, where it's done well. But it's certainly not easy to pull off.
Yeah. And I can't really...
I like it.
I was going to say, I can't really give a blanket statement, because in every art form you got the great, and then you got the people just working on it. So to say that all roasting should be tip-top, that's, why can't go to an open mic expecting the best stuff, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I enjoy it, I mean, it's one of those things where sometimes I get a little bit, like with stand-up, sometimes I get a little bit tired of it, and then I see a great show, and it sucks me back in, and I get excited about it again. But yeah, and, to this day, like, those friends that I've made there are, some of my best friends in comedy, and we still always go after each other on our group chat or, Zoom.
Yeah, it's roasting is all about. It's all about the friends you make on the way, but in reality, it's all about the money.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's where I'm at. I don't think I'm forgetting any other major career elements. But in my personal life now, I live with my wife. We're having a kid in a few months.
Oh, congrats!
So yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
Did you break it yet, or is this breaking news? Is this the first mention?
No, this isn't an exclusive, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I have shopped the story around to many outlets. TMZ.
Gotcha.
No, we officially mentioned it on Facebook maybe a month ago, something like that. Yeah, I believe about a month ago now. But it was a little challenging because at the time we had some of our relatives were hospitalized with COVID, and so it wasn't as we thought we'd announce it with a joke or some sort of fun celebratory thing, but it ended up being a more insightful long post about that my wife wrote because she's good at these things.
Yeah.
About the joy, finding joy in uncertain times and stuff like that. So posted extremely well, but I think a lot of people might have been a little bit, especially my friends, might not have picked up on the fact that we were having a kid because it was mentioned, but it wasn't in the first paragraph,
Yeah.
And so the lead was a little bit buried. So I think that so still, I'll tell people when they're surprised. So we haven't had an official announcement, but I'll probably post something soon. Maybe once we have a 6-month picture or something where she's obviously pregnant or something. I'll post some other update just so everyone hears it in the back.
Gotcha. You got any names that you're in the back of your mind?
Oh my God! Speaking of Judaism,
Let's do it.
Well, you may know that there's a tradition in Judaism, right, where you name children after someone who has passed on, or you name them with the convention of using the first letter of their first name for the baby's name. So this baby will be a boy. So it's going to be the name will start with an M. As Stacy's father has passed away when she was young. So in tribute to that. But so we have a couple names.
Gotcha.
Like Miles, Milo, Micah, a
Moshe.
few like Morgan, a few interesting like names. We're trying to get the MR sound or like a little bit of alliteration with the Marciano, because not every name goes with Marciano, no matter how much you might like it
No.
in and of itself.
Oh.
But anyway, like my mom, for some reason, even though I was not raised Jewish, has become 1,000% more Jewish now that I've married a Jewish woman. Usually,
Yeah.
she sees this as like some overall vindication of herself and her Jewish identity or something crazy. But like, so she's like, hey, I have some new names for you. I really like the name Mordecai and Mytholosu and like
Methuselah.
what Moisha.
Oh, yeah.
Like the most 10,000% Jewish names that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Madradle. Yeah, just Gimel. Doesn't start with an F, does it?
Yeah.
Mordecai, Methuselah, Shmuel. I think this was before it was.
Yeah,
This is a
Shmuley.
girl's name. Because if it was a girl, it would start with S. So her favorite name was Shmuel, Shmuel, in 2020. In
Shmuel.
2020, 80, not BC.
Yeah. I think it was outdated in BC also. Shmuel. That.
Shmuel Marciano.
I mean,
Like, am I trying to make my kid suicidal? Can you imagine that?
Shmuel Marciano. I mean, no,
It's like you're a character in Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Making fun of for being Jewish.
it sounds almost French though.
Yeah, Shmuel Marciano.
You
Sounds like you have a mouthful of peanut butter.
exactly. You don't use the back of your throat at all.
Shmuel Marciano.
Well,
And she's always made fun of me for my boy.
yeah.
That's these possibilities.
Well, if it's
Are you
after,
gonna have kids?
it's we're talking about it, but I gotta get my career on track. It's all, and don't get me wrong, it's entirely my fault. So, but yes, we want him, and they're in the cards. So,
Oh, okay, nice.
we're gonna do the thing where we name it after a recently passed away person as well. So we're going Kobe Lazier. So,
That's good.
either we're thinking Kobe or Shaquille, and if it's a boy, we're gonna go probably Boba, like Boba Fett.
Boba. That's good. Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
That'll be fun, man. A lot of my kids, I feel like a lot of friends are having kids now. I mean, it's that age. Like, everyone has put it off till the last minute. We're all in our, like, mid-35s to the 40. And so it's like, last call, guys. Get them out there.
exactly. My biological clock is ticking, so I gotta start that. So rounding third, coming home. After this quarantine is over, two questions. One, what's your big plans? And two, what are you gonna order at Cantor's as soon as this quarantine is over?
Ooh, that is a good question. Big plans. I mean, I just want to have a fucking coffee, man. I've wanted to just, like, go to Starbucks, I don't give a fuck, and just, like, sit down and drink some stupid fancy coffee. That's going to be, like, the first thing I do. Obviously, live comedy. We'll see what that recovery looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, but I've noticed.
No one knows what the crowds are going to show up. But here's the thing that makes me a little bit optimistic about crowds. People are like, oh, are we still going to have baseball games, whatever?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, they had this 1918 flu. I don't know if you noticed, baseball still happens.
Yep.
Like, and it happened right away. There was a 1920 season. And the second thing is people are, like, on the fence of this. The second the LA Dodgers say, all right, opening day tickets are $5, fucking sold out.
Yeah.
Like, we may have, like, our airy concerns. People will be wearing masks in the stadium. But we can't resist a bargain. And once we see other people in that stadium, so I can forget about it. Like, we're going back.
Definitely.
So at Cantor's, though, that's the real good question. I've been having, it was Passover soon, so I had some good matzo ball soup. I do love their vegetarian matzo ball soup. I've been eating a lot of Jew food, actually. Yeah. You know what I love? A Belgian waffle.
Ooh.
Because you really can't get a Belgian. Like, I have a waffle maker that we never use, but you can't get, like, a good Belgian waffle at home. Like, a good Belgian waffle, um, you know, like, strawberry sauce and all that cheesy shit. And then, like, you know,
I mean,
you
you
know,
could
maybe.
you could cheat and order from Denny's,
That's true.
but
But the other thing is that there's certain foods that you can't really do takeaway.
yeah,
Like a Belgian waffle has to be really fresh or it's going to be soggy as shit. It's not going to have that crisp. The crisp is the value of the Belgian waffle.
definitely.
You know, you're not going to have like fresh whipped cream that's standing up. It's going to be melted into that like sad pile. You know, it's like, it's gross.
Yeah.
And well, you know what I think is the really important thing is getting it family style. Like I want to have like, I would like to have a Cantor's or Norm's or wherever where we got like 5 people. You fucking share food, touch surfaces, and don't give a fuck. That would be like, that would make my heart feel good, at least until I got COVID 3 days later.
Exactly.
But I probably have already been exposed anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, and just to tell you what I'm gonna order from Cantor's, I'm gonna do pastrami, coleslaw, Dr. Brown's cream soda.
It's classic. You gotta have the Dr. Brown, the cherry on top.
That's probably the most more Jewish than Manischewitz.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Toby, always great talking to you. I am excited for your upcoming kid. Hopefully, the birth is less painless than some of the shows we've done together in the past, and
We'll see.
some of the mics we've done. Oh, it's all. Anyway, we're wrapping up. Toby, great talking to you. Thanks for checking in. Hunkered Down with Seth.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah.